Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be reacting to some videos from the Gotham Institute, which looks at how relationships are successful and what happens to create the deterioration of relationships. Let's get into the video. First video I'm looking at is about investing in your relationship.
Ever wonder why some couples make it and others don't? Scientist Dr. John Gottman did. He spent 40 years studying thousands of couples to find out exactly what separates the relationship masters from the relationship disasters.
So this isn't just some guy's opinion. This guy studied it for 40 years. It's quite a while.
Shakespeare compared love to a rose. Gottman uses a different metaphor, an emotional bank account. You know how a regular bank account works, so what's an emotional bank account? It represents the positive and negative balance in your relationship. The best couples maintain a high balance. Couples that break up are often in the red. You make deposits through positive interactions, and you withdraw through negative ones. What does a deposit look like? It's a simple act of showing your partner that you care for and support them. It's as easy as sending your partner a good luck text before a meeting or cooking them dinner after a long day.
Yeah, I think they call these a bid for affection or something like that. So when somebody reaches out to show you that some affection or some attention.
And pay attention when your partner shows you their admiration and support. Notice when they're investing in your relationship.
Thank you.
A withdrawal is either hurtful behavior toward your partner.
Yeah, so then you have to be grateful for the positive interaction in some way, in whichever way that you know, it can be reciprocal. That's the best type of relationship, where it's reciprocal. Somebody puts in, somebody else puts in, and then there's plenty to go around.
Or ignoring their invitations to connect. But withdrawals and deposits don't have equal weight. In fact, Gottman found it takes 5 positive interactions to make up for 1 negative one.
Yeah, so if you have one too many negative interactions over positive ones, that begins the decline of the relationship. And you have to have negative interactions, because else otherwise you don't have a relationship, because life is difficult, and if you're working with your partner, you have to overcome difficult things together. And so there's going to be negativity, but it doesn't mean to say that you have to direct it at your partner or blame them for anything.
Happy couples maintain at least this 5-to-1 ratio. If you make constant deposits and keep your balance high, you're saving up for a rainy day when you'll need to cash in on that goodwill. Gottman notes that small daily deposits, like asking your partner how their day was, is far more important than the occasional over-the-top romantic gesture.
Yeah, it's a bit like anything else in life, whether it's, you know, working out or eating the right foods, or even, you know, saving money. It's little and often. It's not like one big save, or you're going to lift one big weight one day and then you're going to have all these muscles. It's little and often.
Positivity leads to more positivity. This is not about keeping score. It's about investing in your relationship and your shared emotional bank account, moving from me to we. So keep your balance
Absolutely. And that is the shortest poem in the world. Me, we.
high by doing nice things every day and recognizing when your partner does them for you. You'll build up that emotional bank account in no time.
Yeah, and this is why I say you have to pay attention to positive behaviours, and you have to take your attention away from negative behaviours. And that's the basics of it. And there's a lot of guys that I've seen on this channel that will say, oh, you've got to be evil to women, you've got to treat them mean, keep them keen, and all that kind of stuff. You can't just go around being a dickhead. It doesn't work. You have to give out positivity as well, else there's no point in... You've got to have good and bad. You've got to have light and shade. You can't just go around being all good, because that's not a real relationship. And you can't go around being all bad, because that's not a real relationship. And the ratio is, I think it said they're 5-to-1 or something like that, for positive over negative reactions. So let's have a look at another video. So this is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Ooh.
You're so selfish.
See, that's not going to go down well.
Ugh, what an idiot.
Who likes to hear that?
It's not my fault we're always late.
Probably is.
Forget it.
Now the old stonewalling.
Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, contempt is the worst one. Like, if there's contempt in the relationship or that level of resentment, the relationship's not going to last long at all.
Dr. John Gottman calls these negative communication patterns the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, and when I say that the 3 most important things in a relationship are honesty, trust, and respect, this pretty much covers respect, the 4 horsemen.
Because they'll lead to the end of your relationship. In fact, he can predict this relationship failure with over 90% accuracy if the behavior isn't changed.
That's high, isn't it? When you think about it, like scientifically, 90% accuracy, that's high.
So, what can you do? Well,
and this is the thing, is that you can change the behavior. So you can improve relationships. You can improve the relationship you have with yourself and with other people. If you're not able to get a girlfriend or boyfriend at the moment, all you have to do is change your behavior in order to get one. If your relationship is suffering, all you have to do is change your behavior to improve it. It's great. It's like magic.
At the Gottman Institute, we understand you might not even know you're communicating this way, or you might not know how to control it. But if you practice the following 4 research-based antidotes, there is hope for your future.
Yeah, because a lot of it is what comes to us naturally through what we've been indoctrinated to believe and what we've been brought up by, and what's in our personality traits. Like, there are so many factors that come down to what we do habitually that we sometimes don't stop to examine and think, well, why am I doing this, or where am I in the wrong here? Because nobody likes to look in the mirror at what they're doing. They prefer to just point out, what somebody else is doing wrong, because it's so much easier and it doesn't interfere with their own ego. So the more you can look at yourself and improve yourself, the more you're going to attract a better relationship into your life.
Sure. Criticism attacks the character of the recipient instead of focusing on a specific behavior.
And if someone says something like, "You're so selfish," I just see it as a projection. Like, they're selfish themselves in some way, and they identify selfish behaviours because they are selfish. And so when they see a behaviour in you, they think that you're being selfish by it because that's what they would be doing. So it's really just a projection.
The antidote to criticism is to talk about your feelings using I statements, then express a positive need.
You've got to be a pimp, a positively inspirational, motivational person.
Contempt is an expression of superiority that comes out as sarcasm, cynicism, name-calling, eye-rolling, sneering, mockery, and hostile humor. Contempt is the greatest predictor of relationship failure and must be eliminated. The antidote to contempt is to treat one another with respect and build
See, there's that word again, respect.
a culture of appreciation within the relationship.
And you have to appreciate the good things in your life, because if you don't appreciate the good things that are in your life, then you don't deserve to have more good things. Because if more good things come along, you won't appreciate them either. Appreciation is like I say, it's like doing a workout or making yourself happy. It's something that you've got to do. It's something that happiness and appreciation is something that you bring to the world. It's not something that you get from the world.
Defensiveness is self-protection through righteous indignation or playing the victim. Defensiveness never solves the problem and is really just an underhanded way of blaming your partner. The antidote to defensiveness is to accept responsibility, even if only for part of the conflict.
Yeah, and it's your responsibility is basically your ability to respond.
Stonewalling occurs when the listener withdraws from the conversation without resolving anything. It takes time for the negativity created by the first 3 horsemen to result in stonewalling. But when it does, it can become a habit. The antidote to stonewalling is to break for at least 20 minutes. Calm down.
I find stonewalling to be the trickiest one to deal with, because if someone's acting like a dickhead or is showing contempt or is being disrespectful, it's very easy to see. But if somebody's being a bit more Machiavellian and stonewalling and not, telling you everything, then it's much more difficult to be able to see what's going on.
Then return to the conversation. Spare your relationship from certain destruction. Learn more about eliminating the 4 horsemen by visiting our site.
And this is the last one we're looking at today, which is called the easiest way to improve your relationship. Yeah, so let's finish on a positive.
Imagine you hear your partner let out an exasperated sigh.
Not just any sigh, an exasperated sigh.
In that fleeting moment, you have a choice. Keep going about your day or ask what's on their mind. These small, daily crossroads may seem insignificant, but the choices you make while interacting with your partner could over time make or break your relationship.
Yeah, Mystery called this indicators of interest and indicators of disinterest.
The sigh is what relationship researchers Drs. John and Julie Gottman would call a bid for connection. Bids can be
Kind of what I alluded to earlier.
bids can be smaller.
Yeah, a bid for connection, that's it. I'd say a bid for affection or a bid for attention as well, but both are for connection in general.
Small or big, verbal or nonverbal. We can choose to turn towards our partner in these moments and accept their bids.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that it doesn't have to be verbal. You know, you can just sort of like give someone a gentle touch or a hug, or, you know, let them know that you're there, or a little cheeky wink or something, just something to show acknowledgement of the other person.
Or turn away from them and ignore their bids. The Gottmans have spent the last 4 decades studying thousands of couples to answer the question, what separates the relationship masters from the relationship disasters?
Oh, I like what they did there.
They found a critical difference in how each type of couple responds to bids for connection. In these moments, masters turn towards each other 86% of the time. Disasters turn towards each other only 33% of the time.
Yeah, so that's, again, I like to look for Pareto distributions everywhere, and you can kind of see one here, like it's an 80-20 thing going on.
A tendency to turn towards your partner forms the basis of trust, emotional connection, passion, and a satisfying sex life.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
When couples break up, it's usually not because of big issues like conflict or infidelity. More often, it's a result of the resentment and distance that build up over time.
The disrespect.
When partners continually turn away from bids for connection.
And the dishonesty.
So take a page from the Relationship Masters Playbook. Notice when your partner makes a bid. Show interest. Ask questions. Nod. Listen, and put away your screens. Choose to turn towards your partner.
Yes, I agree. Turn towards your partner when they show bids for affection and reward them with positivity, and vice versa. Yeah, that's what you got to do. And when there's arguments or there's contempt or there's aggression or something's not quite right between you both, then it's best to take your attention away. I think there's a big difference between your partner showing contempt towards you and your partner just being in a contemptful mood, if that makes sense. Because there could be a variety of things going on inside their life. As long as they don't take it out on you, you shouldn't have an issue with it. So just because they're in a negative place, it doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't show them any less affection or reward them any less because they're being honest about how they feel. It's just as long as it's not directed at you. That's the only thing. So the best thing to do, I remember from the research that they did, was if there's an issue in the relationship, you start with I. I noticed I was feeling sad because, you know, the dishes weren't done or whatever it is, and therefore it's kept objectively out the way of the other person, and it's not saying, oh, you didn't do the dishes kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's saying, I noticed I was upset when the dishes weren't done. So it's sort of like you can express your dissatisfaction without putting it onto the other person. And if anyone said that to me, I was dissatisfied the dishes weren't done, I'll be like, well, do the dishes then, it will cheer you up. You know, and if the more you are of something, the more you're going to attract that. So the more that you are a person that's responsible in the relationship, the more you're going to attract a responsible partner. So really the best investment you're ever going to have is in yourself, because you then become what you attract. 3 good, helpful videos.